Are you ready for this? We are at the fire station, or really actually at the administrative offices of Lewisville Fire Department. Got a great show lined up for you today. Going to talk to Chief Mark McNeal, and I have wanted this interview for a while. Let's go inside and let's get it started. We're talking to Fire Chief Mark McNeal today. Let's go surprise him. He's probably asleep in the bed in here. Let's go get him. Looking for Chief.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you today.
I thought maybe I'd have to get you woken up from your nap or something like that.
They told me you were coming. They heard you in the foyer. Woke me up already.
Well, you didn't have barbecue today, so you can't be too sleepy.
I always have a nap after I go to your place.
Chief, let's go to your office.
Yeah, come on in.
We're going to get comfortable right here.
Oh, you need me to get you the hat?
Let me have a hat now. I don't mess up my hair often, but it'll be worth it today. There you go. Look at now, let me get ready here.
You got to turn the TV on.
How do I look?
You look like you could do the job.
Here, check this out. Tony, go to the fire.
You can have a radio. You'd fill the part right there.
I got it right now. Here. Yeah. You know what I need? I need a fire truck.
You need a mustache.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I need a fire truck's what I need.
Yeah.
We could get it going.
We could. For a little while anyway.
Well, I'm getting hey. You got to know that I'm a lot more handsome. You got to notice that.
I've been fire chief a little over 4 years now. I started with Lewisville in 92, moved through the ranks, but I promoted to chief in March of 2020, right after Chief Tittle passed away.
Chief, these guys, they come to the barbecue house and they eat, and these guys are all, they're big. They're big. Is that kind of mandatory because of the physical strain on them?
This job definitely is one that you need to be fit for, especially for longevity. You need to be strong to be able to do the job, but you also need to be fit to survive the long-term part of this career. So,
does this look like it'll work right here?
6 skills. You know what, if a little tone and you'd be there. Like me, we kind of gave up on that a little bit.
I would
think those briskets, though, you probably done quite a bit of curls.
I'm one of these guys, I'm wiry. I'll tell you this, without exception, when the Lewisville Fire Department come to eat at the restaurant, these are the nicest guys. I don't know if they go through etiquette training, I don't know, but it's always, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. It's always, they're just very nice people.
Firefighters in general, we get into this job because we want to help people. They want to serve, and that's what we do. We are very stringent in our hiring processes and hire the right people, but as a whole, firefighters, that's just the mentality. They're outgoing, they care about people, they're respectful, and that's why you can trust them to come into your house to take care of you, to take care of your mom, to take care of your kids.
In Lewisville, Texas, how many fires approximately do we have during a year?
So we run about 14,000 calls a year, a little over 14,000 right now. About 70%, give or take, are EMS calls, and that includes our MVAs and some of that. But fires, we don't have a ton of big fires. We have a lot of stuff that we catch early, we catch quick and put away, but they'll run fires several times a month. But a lot of them we catch early and are able to put out early.
These guys kind of have a camaraderie there to where they just have each other's back. And is that just a normal process, or is there some kind of orientation that takes them to that place, or does it just come with the territory?
For us, we do actually in our mini academy, we try to build that camaraderie to start with, but just the nature of our job builds that. So in any employment, when you work with people, you build those bonds. But the nature of our work, we live together for 24 hours at a time, and so we eat meals together. Everything we do as a crew, you're doing together. So those bonds, they just naturally build tight.
Did you guys compete in the Olympics that were a couple of weeks ago?
So we had teams that played several different things. So we had soccer, we had some softball, we had pickleball, some that played horseshoes and some stuff. So
how did we do? Because I'm not going to be a part of losers. Now, how did we do?
We did good.
All right.
We didn't,
Did we whoop some?
We definitely whooped some. We got whooped on a little bit too, as in all things. But our guys did good.
Some of those guys, I don't see how they couldn't do. Some of those guys are as big as a house. They come into the restaurant and go, "Oh no, I didn't prep enough brisket for
Aren't
these
you
guys."
glad it didn't all-you-can-eat buffet?
Yeah, well, you know what I'm going to start doing is, and I'm just going to start arm wrestling them. I offer to do that, but they don't take me up for it. You know why? Because they're scared to go back to the station and tell their camaraderies that they got whooped by an old man.
They got a lot to lose, because if you get beat, it's a bad deal.
I have nothing to lose.
Yeah, there are a lot of big folks in the fire service for sure, and they can do a lot of damage at the barbecue restaurant, I'm sure.
How is it working with the city of Lewisville?
I tell you, as I said, I started here in 1992, and I love this place. This has been a city that has taken good care of us. As I talk to chiefs and firefighters from around the state and even around the nation, Lewisville is different. There is a teamwork aspect across not just the department. Obviously, departments are good. When you can work with the other departments in your city and you get along as well as we do in Lewisville, that's a pretty special place. From our council down are pretty amazing.
I agree with you. It's for a number of reasons.
Sorry about that. Phone's ringing.
Tell them we'll get to them next time. I agree with you. The city of Lewisville's wonderful. From Claire to Marichelle to our city council, just really cares to make it better, not just sit in a political seat, but to make it better. Mark, is it okay if I call you Mark?
Of course.
I was going to anyway.
It doesn't matter, but they're being polite.
Let's leave your office and let's go to a fire truck.
Let's do it.
I want to drive it down the road, and you're done with your job anyway. It's time for you to retire.
Get close.
By the time I get through,
it will be if we do this.
Claire will say he's lost his mind.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Well, let's go get in a fire truck.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's go. We're gonna go to the fire truck. I'm gonna drive the fire truck. Let's go. Get out of my truck. Let's go. I ain't got time for all this. Did you rescue somebody?
Sure. Every time.
Every time. What's going on?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How'd it go?
Doing good. Good.
Did you help somebody?
We did.
You look like you're worn out. You need a nap.
It's hot outside. It's hot.
So, Chief, this truck right here, are all the trucks just like this one?
So no, we have we actually have 3 in the city, but we run 2 front lines. So Station 7 and Station 6, we have these. They have a aerial. So we say it's a 95-foot ladder with a platform on it. But these are our 2 aerial trucks, and we run 2 of those, and then we have 6 engines that don't have the ladder on top, but they have the hose and the water. That their job is firefighting. This group's job is support on the fire ground. They do our rescue, our technical rescue, and they do a lot of support functions on the fire ground.
Did you say that ladder goes 95 feet?
So, yeah, we call it 100-foot ladders, and so you're 100 foot from the ground up, and so it's a long way in there when you're looking down.
I wouldn't be able to climb that ladder because I can't do it. I can't do heights. But this truck right here, this is how much does this truck cost, Chief?
This is about a $1.2 million when we purchased it. Right now, if we were to go out and place an order right now, we're looking at probably 2.3, 2.4 million.
Can I crawl up in there, Chief?
Crawl up in there. Don't be pushing any buttons.
Okay. You know what? I'm a little intimidated.
There's a lot going on up here. So our officer's riding this front seat here. This is the captain. He's in charge of this crew. You can see he's got the computer so they can keep up with notes that are coming from dispatch, know what they're going to.
You think he'd mind if I just started looking at Google?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're Googling.
You think he'd mind if I just started turning on lights and sirens and all that?
You'd have him out here in a hurry, I guarantee you.
I think I won't do that.
That's probably a good idea for both of us. Get me in trouble too.
Chief, do you miss the hard stuff, I guess, I would call it, riding in the truck and going to...
Yeah, truly, it is the hard work, but that's the best stuff. That seat right there is where I rode, and that was the last assignment I had before I moved into administration. Best assignment in the world. I love station life. I love working with the guys.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to stir it up a little bit because I can stir it up.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to go stir it up. I might get into a wrestling match in here in a little bit. I'm going to need you to get that fire truck over there ready because I got to take her for a spin.
Let's do it. Captain Lawler's in here.
What's going on here?
How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Trey, look here, buddy. This is what I'm talking about. This is my speed right here.
You like it?
So this is a battalion, and we just saw a fire truck leave, and I almost ran and jumped on it, but I was afraid I'd hurt myself. Since you guys are right next to I-35, do you guys have to? Do you get more calls on accidents than other stations?
On the highway especially, we send out, we have a blocker that we send out with 2 apparatus on the highway along with our medic. This highway definitely keeps us busy, especially during inclement weather days.
Having 32 years and having 20 years, do you guys still go on the fire trucks?
No, so we ride the battalion vehicle. Chris is what we call our fit driver, and he drives the battalion wagon to where we're going. So if we go to a fire, structure fire, rescue, he drives and I ride the seat, and so we arrive in the battalion wagon.
When you started in this industry, did you start here?
I did not. I started in Frisco back in '03. I spent 2 years in Frisco and then came over here, and so I've spent the rest of my career here.
Let me ask you a battalion question. So obviously, you know, when you have a lot of testosterone under the same roof, and you guys are big, you work out together, you lift weights, and I mean, you stay in shape, you have to. Do your guys ever, because you spend so much time together, do they ever get at each other?
I'd venture to say it probably happens every once in a while, but I'd say all in all, I mean, we are a pretty close-knit family. You know, we consider ourselves brothers, and we're here for each other, and just like family. There's squabbles every once in a while inside the family, but I would say they tend to always get worked out, and it doesn't last very long.
Chief, let me ask you, and if you don't want to answer this, just say, you know what, I don't want to answer that. But 2 years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago this month, you lost a son. When that happened, this is for everybody who watches this show, who may be involved in a disaster. They're trying to navigate through life through this disaster, but you had that tragedy in your family. What did you have to do to go on? I mean, to just keep going, because at that time you were the fire chief, responsible for all the fire stations in Lewisville, and you still had to be the leader, but you had this tragedy at your home. How did you go forward?
Man, just barely. And I'll go back to the job if you want to talk about that, because that weighed heavy on me to go, can I still do this job? Because you know, if I was on the line or whatever, you can take off and a little easier, but when you're the head of that department, there's a responsibility you feel. And so that weighed heavy on me, but one of the things I love about this city is, you know, Claire Powell, Shantae, they were there. Claire was right there with me, came through and like, take the time you need. We got it. And then I had my staff. And Brandon was one of them that came in shortly after, was working in admin with us, but I had, you know, my 2 assistant chiefs that really carried the load. And even after I came back, I will tell you, I wasn't, you know, I came back probably after just about a month of being off, and I'm not functioning at 100% for sure, and wasn't for a long time. But they carried that load, and the city is good. You know, we're going to work with you, get you back on your feet, and so that's just how this city is. From a personal standpoint, you know, you don't have a choice. I have kids. I have a wife that I'm responsible for, and I kind of take the attitude that we do with this job. When we're at this, there's no quit. You can't get tired. You can't quit just because it got tough. You've got to keep moving, and so, you know, it's just one step at a time and keep moving forward. I couldn't have done it without the support of course, our family had pulled us together, and everybody here covering.
Chief, is it true when tragedy strikes in the family of fire department, police department, whatever it is, it pulls the whole family in together? I
can tell you from my experience that's 100% true. I couldn't have made it without that, and it started when I got the news. I had people at my house, you know, almost immediately. some sat outside and just were there. And so, yeah, it is a family. They're there for support, and not a lot of words that can be said. I think you and I talked about that. There's no words that make it better, but knowing that you're not alone makes a difference.
You know, I watched you from a distance. I watched you go through that with your department, with the city, with your family, and I was overwhelmed, just personally. I was overwhelmed with the support that you had around you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a personal story that's commendable to who you are. I live in another city, and one night we had smoke coming out of a receptacle. We didn't know if there was fire in the walls. We didn't know, but I didn't know anybody over there. And I think it was like at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. And I hated to do it. I hated to do it. But I called Chief. He told me exactly what to do. And I thought, you know, who else does that? What other chief is going to answer a phone call and maybe you didn't even recognize the number late at night to see what it was about? I appreciate that.
I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I thought, man, I told him to stay in there and be fine. I hope he gets to work the next morning.
Well, if you remember when we first started talking, you thought I was talking about the restaurant.
I did. I thought you were talking about the restaurant.
My son said that. He said he's listening to because it's on speakerphone. My son says, "Dad, I think he's talking about the restaurant." So I said, "Wait a minute, I'm talking about my home."
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for this interview.
I
appreciate you. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.